Hi, everybody. Welcome to Building Winning Collections with Collection Analysis. This is the final webinar of our Spring 2026 series. It feels like it has gone by very quickly. Thank you to everyone who has joined us for prior webinars and everybody who's joining us for this one. My name is Susanna Gilbert. I'm a project coordinator with Teaching Books, which basically just means that I am in charge of handling our collection analysis initiatives. So what are those collection analysis initiatives? These initiatives from the state libraries of Ohio and Missouri bring ongoing professional development to all library staff in those states. So whether you are a school librarian, a public librarian, academic librarian, or staff member in any of those kinds of libraries, um, we're providing tools and support to help you affirm that the children's and young adult titles that you're promoting in your libraries are meeting community needs. So whether that's titles in your displays, your collections, your face outs, your recommended reading lists, this is available to you for all of them. All right. As I mentioned, support is part of these initiatives as well. So if you are in Ohio, that your points of contact are going to be me and the wonderful Erin Kelsey from the State Library, who I will let introduce herself.
Hey everybody, I'm Erin Kelsey and I'm from the State Library of Ohio and excited to be here. We've been working with teaching books since 2021 and we launched the Ohio Collections Analysis Initiative in 2022. Happy to help with any questions about access or registration or getting you through a sticky situation. We are here for you.
Awesome. Thank you. And then wonderful Katie Dunn in Missouri was not able to join us today. I could do my best impression, but for the sake of time, I will just say that if you're in Missouri, all of that holds true as well. So please don't hesitate to reach out with your questions to one or both of us, and we will do our best to answer them for you. All right. So today we are going to take a look at creating and analyzing lists on teaching books. We're going to talk about different ways that you can find award-winning titles, whether you're adding those to your list or just looking for a new award-winning title to read. We're going to talk about how to create lists of readalikes for a particular award-winning title, and then how you can share and promote those lists once you have them. As I mentioned, we'll have a little bit of time for reflections and Q&A. And as always, our goal is that you leave feeling equipped to use these tools at your library. So why use these tools? Um, our hope is always that you're able to build routines around this program, that it's something that can be integrated into the steps of what you're already doing in terms of managing your collections. Excuse me, choking. Ah, um, these are simple and effective tools to let you examine portions of your collection from, 5 titles on a recommended reading list to much larger portions of the titles on your shelves. You'll have consistent documentation of this information about those collections, along with resources to evaluate, promote, and bring those books to life for your readers. And then, as I said, we're always hoping to build confidence that titles are meeting the community needs that you're aiming to meet. Support and training are available. As I said, please reach out at any time, and please join us for as many webinars as you can. It's always great to have your participation. All right, so a quick overview of how this works before we really dive in. You're going to start by picking a small set of titles. This could be a display, a list of books you're considering for purchase, a recommended reading list, a classroom collection, syllabus, choice books from a classroom, um, any set of titles that you want to examine, you can select. I often get asked, what do you mean when you say a small set of titles? You can absolutely choose a larger set of titles, but I think if you are brand new to these tools, it's always worth doing kind of a test run and maybe selecting a collection that is a little bit smaller. So maybe that's 10 or 15 books, maybe that's 25 or 30, but just kind of getting a sense of how it works with a collection of that size before you go on to giant collections. That's what you're hoping to do. Then you're going to import the books into teaching books into your list. So there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can do that, from scanning ISBNs to copy pasting information in to uploading a CSV file. So whatever's going to work best for you, we've got options. And then you're immediately going to receive a whole bunch of insights like this into the titles on your lists. So, what are the genres represented here? What are the cultural experiences? What are the curricular areas we're seeing? How many of these are graphic novels? How many of these are award winners? That's what we're here to talk about today. What's the publication year median? So just a huge amount, from the really large scale down to the really granular, what's the page count average and word count average of the titles on this list. And you'll have that right at your fingertips. So hopefully it can be a useful decision-making tool, in addition to just being interesting if you're a big collections nerd like I am. All right, we are going to hop over to teaching books for most of the rest of our time together today. Um, I find it's much easier to learn this if we just watch it happen in real time rather than spending a whole lot of time on slides. So that's what we're going to do. You'll notice here we are on our Teaching Books for Schools platform. That's where we're going to stay today. We do also have our public library platform. You can visit here, Teaching Books for Libraries. That's going to be blue. Both of these versions of the platform have the same tools that we're going to be talking about today. So everything that I'm going to walk through in terms of creating and analyzing lists, searching for titles, is going to play the same on both platforms. So if you're in an Ohio public library today and you're worried that I'm going to be talking about Missouri schools, everything is still going to apply. It's just going to look a little bit different when you jump in and do it. Be a different color, but the steps will be the same. So we do need to be logged in as an educator to access these tools. So you'll notice here it says Welcome Missouri Collection Analysis up in the corner here. I want it to say welcome and my first name. So I'm going to go to our 3-line toggle menu. There's a link that says Educator Login. On our library platform, this will say Professional Login. And we will get logged in if I can correctly spell my own name, which is always a question. All right, so if you are registered for the initiative, which I hope that you are, you will have access to this landing page. Either the Missouri version or the Ohio version. Content is going to be the same, of course, except for the things that are state specific. You'll have in kind of little intro to what this initiative is, what the tools can do, and then support materials. So you do have access to, of course, personalized support from me, from Erin and Katie, but you also have support materials that you can look at if you're working on something and I haven't managed to get back to you yet with your email. You'll be able to kind of explore and see if you can find the answer to your question in any of these. So one of those is our handbook. This is going to be a step-by-step walk through how these tools work, the basics of using them. We'll see it loads very, very quickly unless you are on Zoom recording a webinar, and then it loads very, very slowly. But you'll see here, this is just a PDF of a slide deck that's going to walk through all of those different steps for taking a look at your collections. We also have a quick start guide that's kind of some really high level points from the more detailed handbook. We have an FAQ document. This is getting updated all the time with new information as you all ask me amazing questions. And then we also have a sample list analysis report available here if that's something you're interested in looking at. And the last thing that I want to point out here is if you scroll down, you'll see there's a phone number and that help@teachingbooks.net email address. This help email address is how you'll want to get hold of me if you have any questions about the platform and the tools, or you can give us a call and that will make its way to me as well. So happy to answer those questions. That's just that information in another place so that it's easy to find for you. All right, so what are we doing today? Award season is starting to slow down. We've gotten to the point in the year where most of the lists have been released, things like that. But maybe this is the perfect time to start thinking about those books now that you have a sense of all of the award winners from various different places. Maybe you want to spend some money on award-winning titles before the end of the school year. You've got a little bit left in your budget, and you're hoping to really kind of optimize how you're spending that. Um, Maybe you want to make sure that you have these award-winning titles on your library shelves before summer reading, or feature them in your recommended lists and programs for your wonderful readers. So we're going to talk about how to analyze a set of titles to see how many award winners it contains. We're going to be looking at how to identify award-winning books on teaching books, how to identify even unfamiliar awards that you might want to be tracking, and then how to locate readalikes to build kind of enhanced and comprehensive collections around your award-winning titles. So moving beyond those titles, how can you use that to offer more options to your readers? All right, so we are going to start by simply creating and analyzing a list. Straightforward, got to start somewhere. And we're going to go, we can go start creating a list here, or we can go to your custom reading lists linked on the left. You'll see you can always get back to that initiative homepage here. You'll see your state lists here. So we'll go back and look at these a little bit later. But if you're in Missouri, you'll see these. If you're in Ohio, you'll see Ohio state lists. Those are always going to be available on the Your Reading Lists page, and our team is amazing at keeping those updated. And then you're going to see any lists that you've created under your custom reading lists. So if you have been at past webinars, these will look very familiar to you. This is one of my demo accounts, but we are going to start from scratch and create a new one today. The first thing we want to do here is enter a collection name. So we will, this award winners. I don't think the question mark will save. There we go. But that's the question we're asking. Are these award winners? I'm going to take a look at how to find that out. But you do have to save the collection name before you can add any items to it. Once you have that, you can add titles in a whole bunch of different ways. So you could simply type in a title. We could put that in here. If the title you were looking for is not the one that pops up first, you can narrow that down by adding the author's last name. And then you'll see this little add to reading list icon. And we will add that. We can clear our search. And now you can see there's a title here. So we'll save. And there we go. We're getting started here. All right, so you can also insert an ISBN. So you have the option to either scan with a barcode scanner. So you can click into this box if you're on a computer that's hooked up to a barcode scanner and just scan away. So the ISBN's not your library barcodes, but the ISBN barcodes. And you'll be able to see the title just pop up right there. So you can also do that with a camera. So if you don't own your own barcode scanner, if you're not working on a computer that has one, you'll see this little ISBN search icon. You can click on that on a device connected to a camera. So logged in on your phone, on your computer webcam, whatever that looks like for you, and then scan that that way. So lots of options there. You can also do some bulk add options. So pardon me while I pull up my ISBNs here so we're ready to go. But um, you can paste a list of titles and authors. So all of these bulk add options will have instructions for how this information needs to be formatted and what information you need to have. So that'll be at the top there. Same thing for ISBNs, and then uploading a CSV file. Very specific, step by step, what this needs to look like. If you're having trouble with any of this, particularly if you're having trouble with the CSV files, that can be a great option if you're looking particularly at larger portions of your collections. You want to download things as a spreadsheet from your collection management tool and then explore them that way. Please reach out to me if you're having any trouble or if you have any questions. I'm happy to explore that with you. All right. So one thing I did want to demo before we go into bulk adding is I'm not hooked up to my barcode scanner today, but we can just drop an ISBN in here and see that it pulls up the title that we're looking for. So again, we can add that, clear our search, we'll save because you always want to save. And then I am going to just throw in a list of ISBNs here so you don't have to watch me add single titles all day. And we'll see here there's only one ISBN per row and there's no other data spaces or characters besides the ISBN number there. So when we hit import, we've got 21 matches for 21 items. Wonderful news. We can hit continue. So if you're looking at a smaller set of titles there, that's going to happen pretty immediately. If you are importing a larger set of titles, so more like 50 to 100 or more than that, you can upload up to 10,000 titles into a single list. It will be added to a queue and it will take a little bit longer, still very quick, but a little bit longer for all of your titles. But there'll be a little tracker on the side where you can see the progress of that, and you'll be able to get an email that lets you know when that is ready. All right, so we're gonna just keep saving. Now we have 23 titles on our list. There are a few different things you can do here on this list editing page. You can remove titles. So if we don't want one of these on here, you can hit the little remove X. You can add a note. So edit this here. It'll appear on the right-hand side here in the notes column. Or if we go view list, your notes will also appear on this page, or you can add one as well from this view. But we are here today to talk about analyzing this list. So there are a couple different ways you can do that. You'll see we've got our little triangle icon that says list analysis report here. And this is going to show up on any list. So you'll see this on all of the winning lists or award lists we're going to talk about later, state lists, anything like that, as well as lists you create yourself. But you'll also see on the left-hand side, it says Save List Analysis Report. And we're going to do that today for reasons that will become important later. So we'll create our new report. We're going to import here. And here's our analysis. So we can see we have 10 genres represented, 5 cultural experiences. This is 23 fiction books, 0 nonfiction. Got 9 diverse books, no graphic novels, 20 are award winners. So 87%, 20 out of our 23 are award winning. That's pretty good. Publication year median is 2019. Page count, average, and word count are what we would expect to see for a list of picture books. And then you can dive into the charts and graphs. So again, we've got our fiction, nonfiction, some Lexile details. Here is our recency and year published. So we can click into this and see, what is our book from 1969? Very Hungry Caterpillar, of course. And all of these are interactive in that way. We've got our cultural experiences here. We've got our genre details. We've got curricular area details. And then at the bottom here, we'll see what's not included. So whether that's cultural experiences or genres that are not appearing on this list, you'll see both of those detailed here. My disclaimer at this point is these reports are always intended to just give you information. They are not intended to dictate what you should be doing with that information. So this is not saying, you need to have all of these cultural experiences and all of these genres included in your list. This might be showing you exactly what you were hoping to see or exactly what you were expecting to see on this particular list of titles, and that's wonderful. You are the person who knows what information you're looking for here. Um, I always just approach them as, what's surprising to me? What jumps out that I wasn't expecting to see? Um, I clicked on the Very Hungry Caterpillar here because there's a pretty big gap between 1969 and the year of publication for all of the rest of these books here. So I was curious, what that was because it leaped out at me. So I think looking for things like that is always a wonderful place to start. All right. So with this particular list, we know that we have 20 award winners. We're at 87 award-winning titles, but maybe that's just not enough award-winning titles for us. We want to find some more award-winning picture books that we can add to this list, so that we have um, more titles. So instead of focusing on some of the other gaps we might see here, we're just going to focus on how could we find more award winners, and some more information about award-winning titles. One of the ways that we can do that is by our filters. So we can go to our browse page here, and then we're going to go to see all collections. And this is what essentially all of the filters we have available look like. So all of our grade level bands, curricular areas, cultural experiences, there's the genres, all of that stuff laid out linked here. So maybe our starting point today is picture books. We know that was all picture books in this collection. We can select our picture book collection. And it's going to take a minute, apparently. It's been that kind of day. There we go. Almost 30,000 books, so it takes a minute to get all those up there for you. And it's almost 30,000 books, so we don't want to go through almost 30,000 picture books. But the wonderful news is here are our filters, and one of those is awards and distinctions. So that one also takes a second to load, partially because that is one of our most dynamic sections because awards are always being updated. So it's doesn't stay static the way that genre might for a set of titles. So here you could narrow down by recent award winners. So don't care what award it won, we just want titles that have recently won an award. We could pick a specific award that we want to take a look at here. You can scroll through and see all of the different awards that show up. Some of these I think you're probably all familiar with. Some of these are ones I have never heard of, and this is my whole job. So there's just a whole lot out there. And I think that's one of the other things that's always worth discussing when you're thinking about using teaching books to find award-winning titles that can also help you identify new awards that you haven't heard of that you might want to be thinking about and promoting.
I was going to add, and you may have already said this, Susanna, forgive me, I have an HVAC person here. Um, of course. um, There's state-specific awards. So if you really want
Yes.
to look through those and filter with that state-specific award and then add titles up accordingly, that's a really nice feature. And Teaching Books is really great about updating the state lists quickly as well.
Yeah, we'll take a little bit of a closer look at some of the state lists for another bit we're going to talk about quite soon. So thank you for that wonderful lead in. For this one, we're just going to say we want some recent award winners. Gets us down to 700 some, which is still a lot of titles, but it's way better than 30,000. And we could just keep filtering here. So there's no limit to how many filters you can put on. You can only put one from each category, but you could put one from every category if you wanted to at a time. So we know we've wanted our award winners, but maybe we also want to fill some particular cultural experience we identified, or a phonics concept. If we're looking at picture books, a curricular area, there's just a whole lot of options here. So maybe we'll look at a curricular area. We'll see if we've got any good art picture books. And so from here, we can select some of these and add them to a list we're thinking about. We could directly add them to the list of award winners we were already working with. Um, there's just a whole lot of options. So we will add a few of these to, oh my goodness, typing. And then we'll add that. Oh, we got to create a new list. Award winners to add. That's actually a wonderful note. If you have been using teaching books to create lists for a while, this is a very recent change. So it used to be that if you type the list name in here to create a new list, it would automatically check that create a new list box for you. It no longer does that. So you want to make sure that you check that as well as adding your list name. All right, so there we go there. You can also find awards by searching. So we could search picture book, and then we would see awards and distinctions that are specific to picture books. So we'll see here we've got the Cook Prize, Best Spanish Language Picture Book, the Charlotte Zolotow Award, a whole bunch of different things where picture books specifically are being celebrated or acknowledged. Can scroll all the way down here and see all of those. You can also browse by awards. So if you go back to our browse page here, and then instead of doing see all collections, you look at this browse by here and do awards and distinctions. And this is going to show you all 152 national awards and distinctions that we track. So the state ones are not going to show up on this list, but they will show up elsewhere. And you can see all of those here. You'll see on the left-hand side, there is that all state and province lists. So that is what we were just talking about. Here's all 629 different state lists that we track. So even more of those. But there's a million things that you can find. And then you can filter the award lists as well. So we could go in and say genre and then picture book from here and see if we get different picture book awards than we did when we searched picture book awards. So that's another way to explore those. We can see what do we have here on the Charlotte Zolotow Award. This is going to be automatically sorted by number of resources, but you can also go in and filter by award year. So maybe we want to look at the 2026 honors and winners. We'll see all of those here. We could add some of these to our list. Add those to add. There we go. We'll grab a few more here from get some Caldecott winners. Again, we can filter by award year, and we'll add a few of these to our list. Well, there we go. A couple of those are crossovers, so that's always nice to know. All right, so let's go view this list. We've got 11 different award-winning picture books here, and we can go in and analyze this. But we're going to save the list analysis report again, like we did with the first one. But this time, instead of picking create a new report, we're going to create our original, or we're going to select our original award winners list. And when we hit import, this is going to give us our version 2, which has 34 titles instead of 23. And we can go in and see how this has changed things. So I think we had 10 or 11 genres before, so we've added a few here that we didn't have before. We added a new cultural experience. We added a couple of nonfiction books, so that's always fun with picture books. Our number of diverse books went up. Our number of award winners went up. So our percentage, we were at 87%, and now we're at 91, which is awesome. Added a bunch of 2025 and 26 books, so that pulled our publication year median up as well, without having to remove the Very Hungry Caterpillar, which you don't really want to have to do, but you can still add some newer titles to refresh a list. All right, so that is kind of a quick once over into creating and analyzing and then comparing with that analysis. So I want to talk about a couple of other things that you can do on teaching books in terms of lists and awards. So one of those is maybe rather than trying to find award-winning titles to add to a list or making a list of award-winning titles, you're starting with an award list and you want to create lists of potential readalikes for the award winners. So we are going to go back to our reading lists. We're actually going to take a look at a Missouri list as our starting point. So sorry, Katie, you're not even here, and we're picking on your state lists, but they're wonderful. We're not gonna have anything negative to say about fabulous state lists because they're always great. But sometimes you might need more titles than you have on a state list. So we're going to take a look specifically here at this grade 6 to 8 graphic novel list from the Missouri Association of School Librarians. 18 wonderful titles here. So we could take a look at the list analysis report, and we can see that this has, of course, 100% graphic novels. Publication year median is 2025 because they're all going to be 2025 books. But you can see we've got some wonderful representation of different genres, which isn't always easy with graphic novels. We've got some diverse books. We've got a mix of fiction and nonfiction. So you could scroll through and explore this. Or maybe you just want to use this as a starting point. You want to turn this list into a display and then have additional lists available of, if you loved reading these award-winning graphic novels from our state, what else might you like? We could be trying to diversify a little bit. We could be trying to just have more options. I know in the summer in particular, your really hardcore voracious readers, they're gonna start running out, right? You got to find more and more because they can't read the same Dogman book every week all summer, or they could, but hopefully we can expand their horizons a little bit and add some other things in. Or if the title they want isn't on the shelf, how can we find things to offer them? So I'm gonna start with Space Case off of here. And maybe this is a book that I want to use as a starting point. And we can take a look at Discover Like Books here. So this is a little magnifying glass icon that's going to show up everywhere. And it will tell you some information about how books might be similar to this title. So other books by the same author, other editions of the same title. So this is the non-graphic novel version. Books with the same classification, other books with the same subject. If we took a look at a different title here and the same thing, we would see you'll also have cultural experience and other books that have won the same awards. So that's another interesting thing to explore for our purposes today. All right, but if we want to use this as our starting point, we're going to think about what we might want to highlight here. So I'm going to say we want to highlight juvenile fiction, graphic novels, action, adventure. And if we click on that, it's going to load and give us 404 books that also have that subject heading on them. And then this is a common theme. You've heard me say this already. You can take a look at the filters and narrow that down. So we could say we, particularly want um, a genre. Maybe we want to focus on science fiction and fantasy as well as the action and adventure. So we could narrow that down. We could say we want award-winning titles. Again, we want really focus. We want to make a list of readalikes for an award-winning title with other award-winning titles, just to keep the party going. And we can narrow down there um, by any award or by a specific one. So we could say we only want ones that have won the Best Graphic Novels Award. Get down here. And then you could take a look at information about these titles to see if they are the right fit for you in this particular instance. So we can open this up and then go to the book resume link also at the top here. And you're going to get a whole bunch of information about a particular title. So it's grade band information, it's teaching books classification information. There's those subject headings again, Library of Congress and BISAC. We've got full text professional reviews. It'll note whether they're starred, and you'll be able to read all of these in one place to figure out if this is the right title for your list. And then we can see this is won one book award and distinction, but it's been on 10 different state and provincial recommended reading lists. So that's an awesome thing to find there. And we can preview the digital book if you are a Sora school or a Libby library. And you can see ebook sample. You can print all of this information as a full report or a one-page summary if this is for purchasing that you're doing, rather than just learning a little bit more about a book that maybe you haven't had a chance to read.
The book resumes are great because they you can send them to, if you're working for a school and you need to send that to a parent or to an administrator, or if you're working in a public library and you need to provide that as a link, just so people know more about the book. But I also think it's great for programming, showing the book trailer or having other read-alikes on a shelf with them. So it's a wealth of
Absolutely.
information.
Yes. So yeah, you see the whole title page here with our resources. But we will go back to our advanced search here, and we're gonna just create a list with some of these titles. So we'll grab a few of these and we'll add them to a new list. Except we didn't hit create new list because I have been doing this the other way for so long. My muscle memory has not learned yet. So add to list, and then we can go view this. And you could create a combined list with read-alikes for all of the titles on the award list that you're working from, or you could create little specific ones. You can make a display and have each of the award-winning titles with their own linked list of read-alikes. And how would you do that? How would you share these lists once you've created them? It's the last thing we're going to touch on here. There are a whole bunch of different ways to share lists, as well as different ways to create them. And you're going to find all of those under the little share arrow here. You'll see this arrow all over the place. So on lists, but also on pages and individual resources. And you can pull this up, and all of our share options are going to give access to anyone who is anyone who's looking at that list. So they'll have access to the books and the book pages and the resources on them, not the books themselves, without having to sign into teaching books. So you don't have to worry about that. We've got the URL here. You can share on digital platforms. So you could email this to somebody. You could put it on your calendar if this is something you're working on later in the year and you want to have it ready to go. You could share this on social media. So maybe your library has an Instagram page and you want to highlight recommended readalikes list after the announcement of your state award list. Say, here's our wonderful state award lists. And if you read all of these already and you loved them, here's some readalikes that you can explore as well. And you can also do QR code printables. So if you want to do the same thing in your physical spaces rather than your digital ones, you could create bookmarks with a QR code and a link that's going to take you also directly to that list. So that's a really nice option for getting that information out to your library patrons, your students, whoever you're working with and reading with. You can also embed a list. That's the one share option that isn't included in that menu. But we do have the code available, and then you can see what the embedded view would look like. So you could put this directly on a web page as well. And we'll head back to our reading lists page one more time. So again, you'll see your state lists. You'll see here's these custom lists we've created. We've got our award winners or award winners to add, our graphic novels, and any of these can be shared, edited, deleted, whatever you need to do with them from this page at any time. And of course, you can get back to your Missouri homepage here, start creating another list, take a look at the handbook, whatever your next step is. Okay, couple more things before we go. This flowchart is just kind of another way to envision our larger scale collection analysis process. So how does this work outlined a little bit differently, and really emphasizing that this is intended to be an iterative process, something that we hope you can come back to again and again, and really easily include in the collection management work that you're already doing, where you're already thinking about how to find award-winning titles, how to highlight award-winning titles, all of that collection development that you're already doing. A little peek to the future. This, as I mentioned, is our last spring series webinar, but we have dates for our fall ones coming up already. So this is going to be Tuesdays at 2 to 3 p.m. Central or 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern, depending on which time zone you're in, on August 18th, September 15th, October 13th, and November 17th. So all Tuesdays at the same time. You will get more information about this hopefully very soon, so you can start adding it to your calendar. You'll get some email. If you're registered for the initiative, you'll get emailed with the full menu, including titles and descriptions, and the Zoom links to register. And we look forward to seeing you then. So more information to come on that. Last quick pass here through our support pages. So my contact info, Erin's contact info, same thing for Missouri, me, Katie. Please, please reach out with any questions. As I said, we want this to be a really easy and effective tool for you. And if it is not feeling like that, please do reach out so that we can help iron out whatever wrinkles you're running into. You can also just reach out and, we love to hear about how you're using these tools. We would love to, be able to share out cool anecdotes about different ways that people are using these. So if you're using them in your library and enjoying it, having good luck, finding new information, please feel free to reach out and let us know how that is happening. With that, thank you so much for joining us today and for our whole spring series, and we look forward to seeing you back here in August.